when you think about finances, if you're married to somebody, your marriage is actually probably the number one most important thing financially in your life and the other person's life long term.
Love is in the air.
Everywhere.
Love is in the air. Dude, it's Valentine's week, bro.
Man. I know. Some bromance.
Hey, here you go, man.
This is in honor of our friend Francis, all the way in Honduras.
Yeah, so shout out to Francis, man, definitely. Look, if you're watching that episode, you know, it's Valentine's week. It's not the best way. It is the best way for you actually to prepare that awesome cup of coffee to somebody that you love. You know what I mean? That's an act of
you know
love.
someone care for you when you get woken up by the fresh smell of coffee. But hopefully they don't spill on you when they're trying to surprise you, right? But,
exactly. Yeah,
but that's a lot of love right there, man. If somebody makes me a cup of coffee in the morning, I'm like, I love you. I love you.
And you can go actually to our website and you can find a lot of coffee recipes and way to pour the best cup of coffee there.
All the methods, everything. We make sure that you just don't watch, you experience what we experience here too. So make sure.
But speaking of love, today we have an awesome couple and we came to bring the stage. But first, let's get started with the show. Let's go.
Waking up to success. Now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on, go and make coffee. The real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.
This is the real grind. And make sure you like and support the page. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here. And we appreciate you listening. Awesome. So since it's Valentine's week, we invited this beautiful couple that we met a few years ago. And they're physicians. And they started with the couple single family homes and built a portfolio of over 3,000 units. And we're welcoming on the stage Victor and Kate Mangona. Let's go. Man, you guys are just a power couple, man. Every time I see you guys and follow you guys on social media, it's like, you guys just on fire, man. You guys like post dances, you guys post real estate, you guys post marriages. You're like, you guys are awesome. And thank you so much for coming to the show with us. We appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, we are so honored to be here. And I love that we're on this like Valentine's Day episode because I am a marriage coach and love is like the best thing in the world. So.
It is, man.
Love is all you need.
All you need sometimes, right? We talk a lot about financial stuff and stuff, but like if you have love, that's pretty much it.
And
man. Great
hair.
Hey, here, right here, man. And guys, like we started the show by asking if up you guys with your beginnings, where you guys are from, and let's start with you, Kate.
Sure, yeah. I am from Kansas City, but I met and fell in love with Victor in Detroit, Michigan.
All right.
Our first day of residency, and we've been together ever a little bit. We were friends for like 4 or 5 years, and then been together since 2009. Right? Yeah, 2009.
Yeah, well, it happens. I'm glad it was her, right?
Yes, exactly. We were married in 2014, so yes.
Victor, this was you first, and say that, we're going to have a problem.
Exactly, I know. So
what about you, man? Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
All
and
right.
So yeah, that's where we met after we had both finished medical school, our first day of residency in June of 2009. We met then and we got married in May of 2014, moved to Texas at that time, and we've been here since.
That's awesome, dude. And like, what was to grow up in Michigan? Like it's
cold.
Cold, right?
Very cold.
And is your family from there or?
My parents independently immigrated from the Philippines to Detroit, Michigan. They met in Detroit and got jobs there, working class immigrant parents. And my dad, who was an accountant, he realized the benefits of real estate, actually, and he bought one rental property, then a second rental property when I was probably around 10 years old or so. And so I got exposed to that growing up. Sometimes we'd have to go there on the weekends and do work on the properties.
Do work on the property as a typical
immigrant
hardworking
child,
landlord.
Landlord, exactly. So that's how I got my early education.
And why did you decide to go to medical school? Was that an early dream of being a doctor? What was, Kate, you
For
decided?
me, well, I was in between like going to art school or medical school. And my father asked me.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, I got accepted to like both. And my father asked me if I wanted to continue living the same lifestyle, wearing the same clothes. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay. So pushing me towards security.
Threats, right? It's like, hey, what lifestyle do you want? But
and then I figured I could always do it as a hobby on the side, right?
Absolutely.
And so like once I became a physician, once became physicians, you know, we're multi-passionate people. So we do everything. We can do art, real estate, physician, coaching. Like I just embrace it all now.
And you, what was the desire of being a doctor, man?
Well, my mom was a nurse.
You didn't want to do the real estate single family there, right? You were just like, I'd rather go to school.
Well, I was exposed to it,
Okay.
but I always had planned on going to medicine. My mother was a nurse. I was exposed to healthcare from some of my own kind of chronic health issues. I just went to doctors a lot growing up. So I was exposed to it, and I always just kind of pictured myself doing that. I never really thought about doing anything else as a profession, and just kind of stayed on that track all the way through.
And like looking at you guys now, by knowing you guys are super passionate for what you do. Is that still a passion for the medical practice?
Oh yeah. I mean, I love being a pediatric radiologist, you know, and as a radiologist, I feel like I'm surrounded by art every day because I look at the x-rays, the CTs, the MRIs.
See the
So
paintings.
yeah, I can see inside your body. Like how amazing is that? So I'm still very, very passionate about it. I just structure, we both make sure we structure our life so that we can do, you know, a little bit of everything that we love. And we have 3 kids. So, very early on, and I feel like most physicians need to know that they can choose to only work 3 days a week or only work 2 days a week, and they don't have to work 7 days a week so that they can experience life.
So speaking of radiologists, you know, I was on a trip this week and I was skiing and, you know, snowboarding, and I fell pretty hard. And I'm feeling this pain, so I want you guys to actually look at my x-ray real quick. And can you guys please let me know by looking at my legs?
By the way,
Is anything wrong with it, or is it just me?
Kate doesn't want our kids to ever go skiing.
Yeah, I will never go skiing. I see too many ACL tears.
I think I see a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it was my boo-boo. It was just my boo-boo.
I don't even have to look at the x-ray. I'm going to tell you to get an MRI.
No, man, let's do it. And okay, so we ask about you guys' passion for being a medical practice and such, and so you're talking about interesting point about you know, choosing your hours and such. But I also hear from a lot of doctors that they just like choose to work more because they were more passionate and stuff. How was that? What did you point it at him for? Like, well, what was that balance? How did you guys find this balance?
Okay, well, Victor works like 100 hours a week at his physician job. And he still finds a right amount of time to do real estate too and spend with his family. For me, I saw like the writing on the wall 4 years after I became an attending, meaning like after training, after residency, after being a physician for like 10 years, I just knew I had to go part-time because we started having kids. We had our second kid by then. Somebody needed to be with them. And like we dropped the ball one day and we had nobody to watch our child and we were both going into work. And it was like, oh, okay, we forgot to schedule childcare for tonight.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, this isn't going to happen again. And I just knew I wanted to pursue other passions as well. So I wanted to be a mom, I wanted to be a wife, and I wanted to do other things. So I just decided, and it's easy. I think it's probably easy for most people, but for me, it was easy to just ask to go down a few days a week.
Right.
So if I had a shift work profession, which physicians who are radiologists or ER doctors, they often have shifts. If I was a shift work physician, I would have very much already cut back by now, especially as we've grown our real estate assets and income. I don't have that luxury right now. I'm trying to decrease my patient load, but it's easier said than done. But I'm still passionate of taking care of the people, especially the kids that I take care of.
Yeah. Which that's awesome. You know, we have here on the show a lot of people that are doing coaching programs, people that is just helping others to be financially free. But you guys actually the ones that the life you guys treat them and take care of them. So appreciate that, and that's awesome. And before we get to where you guys building this empire of over 3,000 units of portfolio, I want to talk about that in a little bit. But first, guess what time it is?
Is it grind time?
It's coffee time.
coffee time.
Coffee time.
Hello, hello. Hi, very nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry, I'm all awkward here. I don't want to push your mic. No, actually, let me walk behind you. Victor, how are you?
Great
Good
to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. And first question I'm going to ask, I'm just going to get straight to the point, From a scale from 1 to 10, how much do you guys like coffee?
8.
8, okay, that's acceptable.
6.
Ooh.
Come on, all those hours
Hey,
you gotta.
but we love challenges, though. We love challenges.
We do.
Let's find out. Why is the 6? Is that like you don't like the coffee, you don't like the caffeine?
I don't usually drink caffeine, so I choose coffee on select occasions.
Right on.
I mean, he's like a shot of espresso without anything. Like, you know what I mean? If you have to
You got all
talk to
this
him.
energy built in, man.
I
I
know,
just don't
man.
need the caffeine. It's like I wake up in the morning and I'm the coffee.
I need to find out where the energy is coming. I need to get the recipe once we're done here. But yeah, today I brought a really cool coffee here for you guys to try it out. A really cool coffee, and this one has a nice story. So
It's a little bit behind this one. So this
Yeah.
one on my farm in Brazil, he's actually one of my neighbors. So we don't, our coffee, we wholesale it. It's a smaller farm. And my dad only picks up the best before he wholesales it and send it out to us. But because go through custom stuff. So my friend here, he actually put on his bag to bring it over here because like a package container, right? But it's actually my coffee. But this is actually his coffee.
Right.
That he's also does amazing job at the Vale Verde. There's a link down below and their Instagram for you to follow them and see what they have. They're awesome, simple people, so humble. They live on this small village and there's 6,000 people there. And my mom was born there. And this simple family, his family all works there, his kids, everybody, 100% organic, nothing. So it's awesome. So you guys gonna love this coffee.
It's a special coffee, and for Victor, it's a special occasion today. So he only drinks coffee on special occasions. So let's do it. So as you said, you gave it an 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink your coffee in the morning, throughout the day?
Morning.
Morning?
Yes.
Yeah?
Morning.
Okay. So I'll let you pass
Thank
this along to
you.
Victor.
Okay, will
And
do.
I'll grab you one here as well.
Got it.
Okay, so
Thank
this is
you.
how we're gonna try this, okay? As always, I have 3 rules.
Sounds good.
We're gonna smell it, and whenever you're gonna drink it, you're gonna slurp on it, letting all that oxygen get in your mouth so you can get all the flavors.
It has to be that kind of slurp that your mom is like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really rude.
Like
yeah.
the rude slurp.
The more you are like rude when you do it, the more flavor you get. It's weird.
Put that oxygen together so you
Yeah.
can feel that. Let's go.
Okay.
Smell it.
Okay,
1,
smell.
2, 3. No, but here's the deal. You can be 100% honest if you like it or don't like it, okay?
So the reason this coffee is a little bit on a lighter side, as you can see, you have some of the oils, is because it's more of a light roast. You can actually identify some of the notes on it. Just like you guys like wine.
I love light coffee. I love this.
This is
yeah,
delicious.
This reminds me of being like on a tropical vacation.
Are you being for real?
Yes,
No,
for
this is-
real.
this is so easy to
we
drink.
just got back from
It's
Bora
like I'm
Bora,
not
and
drinking
it
coffee.
reminds
There you
me
go.
of
Really?
There you go.
Yes.
You guys went to Bora Bora?
Last week, yeah.
Oh,
with
wow.
65 women physicians.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's
you had
amazing.
good coffee there?
I drank their coffee in the room every day. It was good. I mean, it wasn't this coffee. This is really good
That's
coffee.
awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's different. Like you said, though, it's very light. It looks like a tea on the cup.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's just, but believe it or not, this has more caffeine than a shot of espresso. What are you drinking right now?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's really.
Oh, Victor's
I
going
can
to
already feel it.
Let's go.
60 patients, come on up.
Do you think it's rude when people ask to put sugar and milk in their
I don't
coffee?
say it's rude.
I don't think it's rude, but it's a
I think
They
it's an
put-
educational opportunity.
They start putting sugar on coffees to camouflage because they
Right.
do very dark roast,
Yeah.
very bitter,
Okay.
and that is not real
This is
coffee.
not bitter
okay?
at all.
Yeah,
This is like almost
so
no
that's the
after.
sugar is
Yes.
to camouflage,
Sweet.
but actually, again, I say this every show: the coffee is a sweet fruit. It's sweeter than a grape. So
Yeah, this one doesn't need it.
you know, obviously we
Yeah.
roast the stuff, so you can definitely taste the notes from it. Just like has flavor, fruit forward. You can,
delicious.
yeah,
And you can see, like, look at how light the beans are in comparison to when you go to the store and you look at the beans on display and they just look like, they look almost like the couch right there. It's black and it's oily, and you can, now whenever you see coffee like that, you just run away from it because you know it's gonna, you're gonna need to put sugar in it. That's the only
Even
way.
if I go to Starbucks, I ask for a pour over the light one, the blonde, what they call it, right? Because it's so much better. It
Yeah.
has flavor. You can drink it. It's like a tea almost.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But that's the real coffee.
Awesome. But hey, thank you for letting me introduce y'all to some special coffee.
Thank
I've been
you.
loving to hear the
Thank you.
stories from over there. So I'll let you guys keep at it, and I'll talk to you in the field.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Let's go. All right, so if you want to learn a little bit more how to get started and invest in real estate today, please go to their website, multifamilyempire.com. And if you also want to learn how to do the best cup of coffee in your own home, we're going to teach you a lot of tips and tricks. Go to multifamilyempire.com/forward the real grind. All right, so from the, like, you guys are doctors, and the passion from, you saw your dad on landlord, and now where was the first real estate experience or acquisition for you guys?
When I was starting medical school back in 2005, I had been looking for properties to buy. I was moving back to Detroit. At that time, real estate was doing very well. And I realized a lot of the places I wanted to live, I couldn't actually afford them. They were surprisingly expensive, even in Detroit. I rented for a year, and then eventually I found a property that was kind of off market. It wasn't listed on MLS, but it was for sale. This was a condo, and it was an apartment that was getting converted to condominiums. And I was able to get a 1-bedroom apartment, completely renovated, almost 700 square feet, for just a little over $60,000. Yeah, this is Detroit. Okay,
But it's
so-
still, I'm
right.
sure that
So,
is no,
yeah.
that's double that.
So yeah, so $100 a square foot.
Yeah.
So I was, when I did the math on it, and the mortgage payment was like a few $100, per month, and I was paying at that time $600 a month in rent, and that was being in a 2-bedroom with a roommate. So we were paying like $1,200 a month for 2 people, and I said, well, this place is going to cost me about $600 a month by myself.
Right.
And so, one, I knew I could afford it off of my student loans, but 2, I also knew that I would be able to rent it out in the future because I knew the rent price would be worth more than the cost
Right,
to own.
absolutely.
So I was already buying a cash flowing
Appreciation there, yeah.
property.
Yeah.
So that was the first property. I lived there until I finished training, and then we moved out. We started renting it. And a lot of people would say that's an accidental landlord situation, but this was all planned from the beginning.
Right.
And rented for like $1,000 a month.
But which
at that
is
point.
awesome that a college student to have that mentality of doing such a thing, right? Already strategizing in a certain way, right? This is really cool, man.
Yeah, my only regret was not buying like
The
a lot, the whole
The whole
building.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, because after the crash occurred, the building, which 30 out of the 40 units hadn't actually been converted into condos yet.
Yeah.
30 doors sold for about 700 at auction, $700,000 US.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have bought those at 20 a door.
Imagine.
If I knew then what I knew now,
Right.
yeah, I would have done very well. But you can't go back in time. But I learned.
We just
and-
learn from experiences, man.
Exactly.
yeah.
You can always go back in time if you think about your future self. You can be like, oh, I'm going to go back to today.
Whereas my uncle told me when I moved to Detroit, you're going to be there for 5 years, buy something. And I was like, no, I've got to focus on my physician job. I'm going to rent for 5 years. So big difference.
But it's okay. You
But
saved
it's
up a
okay.
lot of money while you were there. And that was just our first property. We got married at the end of training. We moved to Texas. And once we finished our 1 extra year of fellowship training, then we started our plan of buying 1 door a year. We were going to do buy 10 properties over 10 years, kind of a.
And also, up to this point, you didn't know anything about multifamily yet.
At this time, we did not. We were broke. Like we were really broke.
All he knew is how much it cost me to go get my hair done, every few months. And then he knew he
that
saw
one had to be a for sure. You got to know that one.
he knew
man.
that, and then he knew how much our salary was going to increase from being a trainee to an attending. And he's like, we got to do something with this money before it goes into our account.
So so as soon as we started getting, I saw the money that we were going to get, and we're going to buy a property a year, and we did that beginning. We bought our first property in Dallas. It was interesting. We were looking for cash flowing properties, and this is 2015. Prices already had been going up.
Been going up.
Yeah, and retail purchase prices had gone up faster than rental prices.
Yeah.
And it was very hard to find cash flowing properties then, as it is now. But we were able to find some, but they were a lot more expensive than we were looking to initially buy. But the numbers worked. Right, so I was thinking maybe buy it something $200,000-$300,000, but those didn't make any money, like in Uptown. We ended up buying a property a little north of $900,000.
Yeah.
But with the plan to rent it out, so we were gonna house hack, buy one.
So that was a long term, or was it short?
These were gonna be long-term
Long-term
rentals.
rentals,
Yeah, this is before I had ever really known about short-term rentals. Airbnb didn't even exist in this area at that time.
Yeah.
So we bought a house, we lived in it. We had a 4-bedroom house all to ourselves, just the two of us, without even a dog.
Wow.
Yeah. And we bought it with $0 down. Kate got the mortgage and we closed. How much did we pay at closing?
$200.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
And we put $10,000 deposit on the property. So we
Dude.
basically bought our first property worth almost $1 million for $10,000.
Isn't like the power of real estate when you're, do the right moves, and that's why about chess is all about like strategy, man. And I admire that you both strategizing from very early ones and building wealth, because it's very. I heard a lot of stories from doctors that they early start getting a lot of money and start getting a lot of financial stupid decisions, and now all of a sudden they can't get rid of the rat race, right? And actually you guys investing in the early ages, that's really cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, we were super leveraged. I don't take those kind of risks now, but at that time, it was interesting. When we had no money, I was more willing to be 100% leveraged. We were literally bankrupt, but we had income and we got physician mortgages. We bought one property. And we bought the other half of the same properties, like a duplex, like 2 separate properties. And that we bought one in the first year, bought one in the next year. Then we started Airbnb, and that's when we discovered multifamily. Once we realized, we're making a lot more money now. I can't buy one property a year. We need to go faster than this.
Right. And it was taking more time.
Yeah. We were, looking for deals.
Absolutely.
And my time at work got more and more and more. And the value of my time got higher.
So, on those
and higher.
properties that you bought, were you self-managing?
At the beginning, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the economies of scale for multifamily definitely is a huge, right? It's like absolutely. Do you still have a single family homes, or?
Yeah, we held on to those 2.
Yeah, we have 3 now, and 2 of them we do midterm, and that just happened by accident because of the random Dallas storms or people needing places to live after their house flooded or pipes broke, stuff like that. And we just never planned for that. And then in our neighborhood, it's just perfect because nobody wants to move out of the neighborhood, and they want family friendly, with baby gates and cribs and
a place for their dog.
Our house was our 2 houses.
So our original 2 houses that are in University Park, a very small school district. We had them as long-term rentals. We started trying Airbnb, and then
it was fun. It was definitely an adventure. Airbnb was an adventure for a while.
Like short-term, like true short-term rentals.
Yeah.
We were doing weekend bookings.
I kicked out a few people. But yeah, midterm was much better for our neighborhood.
Wow. Tell me one horrible story like that. Just one.
A bachelor. There was a bachelor party. A bachelor party. And I'm looking at the
just
cameras and I'm like, ooh, these girls should not be in our neighborhood. I mean, because they were very scantily clad. And the neighbors were complaining about the vibrating walls. And I was like, okay.
What kind of sound system did they have in there, man?
We did not even know.
Remember, this is a duplex, so there's like a shared wall.
Yeah.
So
yes, they were livid. We gave them gift baskets, saris, it became, and they stayed. our neighbors actually stayed and we owned their property too.
Right.
They were long-term tenants on that side.
So they stayed for 3 years later.
But the problem with Airbnb on big houses is that it's hard to book them out like every day.
Yeah.
Especially like weekends are often easy for travelers, but unless you're like in a vacation area and people are vacationing there all the time, it's just hard to book out a big house. So when we realized that families needed places for like a month or 2 or 3 months, which was by happenstance.
Yeah. And
we've been able to book out every day.
Yeah, and a bad neighbor can be a deal killer because I rent Airbnb all the time. Every time I go, I prefer to go on Airbnb than a hotel. It's just me. So I know there's some places I've experienced a few places that I ran an Airbnb and the neighbors are looking at me weird.
Yeah.
Right. It happens in Brazil. We're renting this condo too. It was a 3-bedroom and an elevator. People like look at me like, you don't belong here. What the hell, right? So I felt so awkward, but I understand the business, and I was like, oh, it's fine. I'm sure a tenant come here or somebody, a guest came here and did some kind of shit, and I get it.
Yeah.
Right. But that could be a total different challenge when you try to, Airbnb your place and you have a pain in the ass neighbor.
Right. So we're lucky.
We'll make sure we're friends with all of our neighbors.
Yeah.
We give them Christmas presents and
Valentine's
now
gift. Come on, Valentine's, right? Valentine's like, hey, here's a card. Here's a cup of coffee.
So now with these midterm rentals, though, these are people who are literally in our neighborhood renting from us.
Yeah.
Because they need a house temporarily, and they often need a place for, let's say, 2 months, and it ends up being 4 or 5 months because it takes a lot longer to do whatever renovations and repairs. And we've been doing that for the past 2 years with incredible occupancy. But the amazing thing is the daily rate we were getting on Airbnb, like on the weekends, like $700 a day or so, we've been getting that for the entire time.
Wow.
Without having to have daily turnovers and without having the vacancies. It's unbelievable.
Okay, hit this button here for me. Come on. Let's go. That's cash, man. That's cash right there. And okay, so I have a question for you, man. You guys are growing such a great portfolio, multifamily. Guys are you talked about your fund. I want to talk about that in a little bit. But what is the future now? You want to scale that business, or you want to? What does your future look like for you guys?
That's interesting. It's a great question.
We need to have more vision dates. Yeah, we go on a lot of dates.
Because you guys are successful in your career, successful on this on the real estate investing, and what is the next thing?
Yeah, I have a lot of visions. I'm currently trying to grow my marriage coaching program, and so I would love. It's called Medicine, Marriage, and Money, and I would love for Victor to be more involved and do more money coaching and educate the physicians on real estate. He's tied up right now, so I'm just focusing on relationships. But when he's ready, we're going to continue building that empire.
Yeah, well, so she has her coaching program, and this is a very scalable business, which is excellent. And she's got a few clients just the other day, and it's an excellent business model that is definitely scalable, which is great. On the real estate side, on the passive side with multifamily, I do have my real estate fund. Fortunately, having been in this now for, it seems like a short time, but also feels like a long time. But around 5 years ago, or I think around when we met each other,
we were having this conversation, right? Like
we were just starting out.
Yeah,
and it's crazy how far we've come in 5 years. But now I have a lot of people who are repeat investors. Yeah. Who've invested in deals. I've been general partner on various assets, but now run a fund. So we'll raise a couple $1 million at a time, and then invest that into a deal on a preferential share class. Yeah. Where I'm able to take some extra, basically dividends or distributions from that share class to help pay for my fund management. Also, to get paid. Similar to the way a general partner or sponsor might get paid, but in a different way. It keeps my name kind of off the books of the assets. And that's very scalable because we will spend some time at the beginning when we're raising, and then it's relatively cruise control otherwise. And that's kind of business where I feel will help us continue to grow our wealth long term. and grow passive income, whereas businesses like our midterm rentals, our coaching company, and our physician jobs, these are a little bit more active, where we're trading time for money.
So as your real estate or fund your grow, is it gonna take some of the physician, or?
We've gotten to a very good point already with our assets, that I like to use the term work optional.
Right.
So we're fortunate that.
I love that when you get to do things, because everything I had this conversation in another episode, that when we do things that related to a dollar sign, even though how much passion you are about it, dude, it's like, it's not, it becomes not that passion anymore, right?
Yeah.
But when you get to do it when you want to, on your own terms, like, hey, this week I want to work more or less or something. So I think that's the beauty of it. And then the real estate investors definitely is a great avenue for that. And that's awesome. So this is before I get to the speed of the beans, one last question. Talk a little bit about your program about the women.
Oh, yeah, my marriage coaching program.
Yes.
So I started about 3 years ago. I started delving into the coaching world, and it changed my life. I feel like it enhanced our marriage. It probably saved our marriage, and actually enhanced a lot of relationships in my life, with my family, with friends, and I wanted that for more people. Like, once I started learning this, and there was nothing specifically for physicians out there in terms of marriage. So as soon as I started learning about coaching, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to start collecting all the tips. And I started interviewing all the power couples in my life. Fortunately, I had a lot of power couples in my life, so I just started interviewing them, writing down all of their golden nuggets and just sharing them with the world, and then taking on my own clients. And so right now I work with women one-on-one and couples. I have a group program for couples called Making Marriage Work as a Gottman leader. So I teach.
Is that just for physicians, or?
Or
you just focusing more on physicians?
I focus on physicians because I feel like they come to me, they relate to me.
They relate, absolutely.
But I'm open. Like, I don't have a physician only program. That's who I attract. And so it's been absolutely amazing just seeing their journey. Like, they say things like they look forward to my group program coaching nights more than anything else in the entire week, because they see their spouse coming with them and working on them together. Whereas before, for years, they never knew their spouse cared that much.
Absolutely. And just for the fact that you sign up for something like this, or you get involved in something like this, just the act itself is already a change, right? It's already
Huge.
a wanted to change, and obviously the benefits from it.
Yeah, and a lot of people think about seeing like a marriage counselor or people think about these things in negative terms. But if we think about the way people go to the gym and have a personal trainer, you don't think about personal trainers at the gym in a negative way, right? Because like, oh, this is going to help this person get into better shape faster or more efficiently.
Sure.
We should really think about marriage coaches in a similar way. And when you think about finances, if you're married to somebody, your marriage is actually probably the number one most important thing financially in your life and the other person's life long term. Like, nothing can hurt you more financially or help you more financially than your relationship with your spouse. So it's not something we often think about in terms of, I need to prioritize investing my time and effort in my relationship. But it's incredible having gone through some of these programs, how marriage can be better, right? And continue to improve.
When your house is clean, right, and it's stable, all the sorts of your lives, go well together, because this is the people that you spend the most at home, or your family. And when your family's solid, that's the biggest foundation.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. And right now we're going to do the spilling the beans, but we want to get to know you guys a little bit better. This is the spilling the beans with Victor and Kate. All right, he's sipping on this last sip of coffee just to get the energy up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to ask the question and you answer, and then she answers the same. Okay. So hospital or private practice?
Hospital.
Okay.
Private practice.
Nanny or au pair?
Nanny.
Nanny.
Ooh, I want to ask that question off of the books, but yeah.
I would like to have both, to be honest.
Short-term or long-term rental?
Midterm.
Midterm.
Both.
All right. Mozzarella or provolone cheese?
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Italian or American cuisine?
Italian.
Italian.
Hell yeah, man. I'll be surprised. I was like, chess or checkers?
Neither.
Chess. I have a giant mega chessboard at our Airbnb.
All
Love it.
right.
Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disneyland.
Disney World.
Oh my God. Cinderella or Elsa?
Elsa.
Elsa.
Gaston or Prince Charming?
Prince Charming.
Prince Charming. So we got engaged and she was dressed up as Cinderella.
I know
Yes,
that for a
yes,
fact. That's
yes.
why we asking
Yes,
those questions.
yes,
This was Spilling the Beans with Victor and Kate. Let's go. Guys, this was really cool. Thank you so much for coming to the show. It's very inspiring where you guys are going. And like you said, 5 years ago, we're just starting out with this business, and then to see you guys, your growth, like you're having a fun in your program, which I highly admire that. I love to share that in our platforms for other people like to get in contact with you. And this part of the program, is like, if you, both of you together, look at the camera, and what would you have to say to your younger self? Start by saying your name. So,
Kate, it's okay to fail. Expect to fail, want to fail. That's how you know you're going to do it right. Is you're going to fail, you're going to learn, and you're going to keep going and hold your husband's hand and hug your kids the entire journey.
Victor?
Little Victor. You may feel that there's only certain things that you're good at and can do, and that's okay. Everybody feels that way. It's normal. There are so many things out there. If you believe and think you can do something, don't let a single person tell you you cannot. Find the people who have and find out how to do that.
That's powerful, man. Guys, that's been amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks for coming down here in the studio of the Rio Grande. I hope you guys like some coffee. And thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much. It was
Neana.
such an honor. This is just blowing my mind.
That's great. And if you're watching at home, thank you so much. And make sure you subscribe and like. This was the Rio Grind with Kate and Victor. And happy Valentine's Day, guys. We love you.
And as always, thank you so much for watching the Rio Grind podcast, either on YouTube or Facebook. It's where you can find the full episodes, or if you're actually listening to the podcast on your favorite platform, talk about it to your friends. Let everybody know about this amazing show that is sharing so many powerful stories with you. So we can also outreach other people as well. And remember, a good cup of coffee is the best Valentine's Day gift. And this is the Rio Grind.
Waking up to success, now we're getting it started. This is the real grind. Everything you've been wanting, building an empire, no question. Talking about real estate, investing, making the millions, no stopping. While we sip on gourmet coffee, the real grind. This is the real grind. Let's go.